What is going on, my boy?
Yo, what's good, my brother?
Ain't nothing, man. Finally kind of, what I'm saying, coming to grips that we're not going to the Super Bowl this year, man.
took a week.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Let it set in. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the bullshit. I'm getting trolled and all that. And, you know what I'm saying? Look, it's out, learn a lesson, man. Get your shit in while you can. Don't try. I try to be the positive fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm out the way now. Chiefs, I ain't got too many rivals. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Definitely out the way. AFC West is definitely out the way.
Yeah, but I don't know. People just went crazy this with this loss or whatever, and had it up at my expense. And I could have had so much fun shitting on Cowboy fan, Raiders fan, Steelers fan, 'cause we put them out the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you know what I'm saying? Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah. Well, not the first time, but
Yeah,
Um.
in my new journey.
All right. Well, yeah, because you do, like you said, you know better and shit. Got you. Anybody that's wondering what he's referring to, I'm quite sure we all know by now that the championship weekend was last Sunday, which we saw the Bengals and Chiefs and the 49ers and Rams. And two pivotal matchups. This was winner gets a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Starting with the AFC, it was the Bengals in Arrowhead Stadium taking on the Chiefs. And Chiefs with the ruckus crowd jumped out to a 21-3 lead, up 18. In my opinion, started to get a little too cute, you know what I mean? A little too cocky. And the Bengals ended up scoring right before the half, and then the Chiefs had a chance to score literally right before the half, and technically at the end of the game as well, but we'll get there. And just squandered the opportunity. I mean, even at that time, I'm pretty quite sure nobody really thought like, well, that might come back to bite them. I mean, some people probably did, but
I was one of them.
a lot of people probably thinking like, the Bengals can't do nothing with them anyway, and this and that. And then it commenced to be like a completely different game after halftime. Chiefs were pretty much shut out the whole entire second half until the last, where they were able to get a field goal to tie the game to send it to overtime. Um, Bengals had scored a couple of touchdowns, well, field goal and then a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. And then they hit a go ahead field goal. Like I said, Chiefs came back, hit a field goal, goes to overtime, and which that was already a hot topic the entire week. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, People want the overtime rules to change, and obviously, the big thing is, when you get the coin flip, call heads, call heads, call heads, and the Bengals call heads, end up being tails. As soon as the Chiefs won the toss, crowd just completely erupted. They just knew that this game was over. Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Tyreek Hill in overtime. This game is over, and Bengals got to stop. Got a couple of stops first and second down. Patty ends up throwing. I'm not gonna call it a hail mary, but a force. I'll say a force
A
pass to Ty.
heave.
Yeah, I'll say a force pass to Tyreek. That was ill advised. You say ill advised?
Yeah, double covered, man.
Yeah, ill advised pass to Tyreek. Maybe if it's like one of your bigger guys,
Right.
maybe. But Tyreek, like he has to outspeed people. You know what I mean? You don't want him to go up and get it like against people. And ball ended up getting tipped from by the safety to the cornerback. He ended up making an interception. Bengals ended up gaining enough yards to set up Money McPherson, who's been unbelievable this back half of the season, because I remember completely ragging on him when the Bengals played Green Bay mid-season, and he missed a couple of kicks that could have won them that game. But they're going to the Super Bowl. Bengals from the AFC. How'd you feel about this game, Mr. Chiefs fan?
Oh man, that was just fucked up about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the but you know me when we be in the parties watching the games or whatever. I'm never totally convinced, and
Uh,
to the point where you like, man, chill out, y'all got it. This is the stuff I be fearing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, we squandered the opportunity right before half. Like it seems like they have been going through some progression with the offense and Patty. You know what
mm-hmm,
I'm saying? Like, okay, he stopped just forcing and looking for deep passes all the time and started checking the checkdowns.
mm-hmm.
So now the next progression has to be take the points. Don't leave points on the board. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like we should have at the very least got a field goal right before half. End up didn't get anything. You know what I'm saying? So and like I got records. I was talking the game through like the whole game, and I was like, man, I hope that don't come back to bite us, and it did.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? And like you said, we got shut down the whole second half. It's like they took away the check down and shit. And then like all of a sudden now, so Patty has to learn this phase too. You know what I'm saying? Because he was completely stomped bad. Okay, they took down the check down. Like now you got to figure out how to beat this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of seen a few passes where I think he could have made and shit.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know if he just didn't trust it in the clutch or what. You know what I'm saying? Because McCole Harmon maybe dropped a few jumps, but like one jump he forced the semi, and I think running like a post or some shit like that. Harmon had a step on somebody and shit. And that might have led to, you know what I'm saying, the blow up McCole Harmon had on the sideline. I guess he went to the offensive coordinators and whatever, you know what I'm saying, telling them,
Mm,
hey, I'm open. And I think him and Tyreek Hill maybe got into like a nice little, small little scuffle, or not scuffle, but the war of words and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I think they kind of calmed it down and still
mm-hmm.
tried to win the game. But who knows what type of effect that had on the whole game. But
Right.
I was just disappointed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't be understanding, like, how like one of the hottest offenses and all these weapons could completely shut out in the half. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy.
Right. Right.
But
So
hats off to the Bengals.
yeah, definitely hats off to the Bengals. So as far as like any changes needed, like personnel wise, like everything you pretty much just said is like X's and O's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still if you can without breaking the bank, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because we're gonna lose people, so try to get like a nice, like you said, like I think that's one thing we lack is maybe a stick mover receiver. You know what I'm saying? With the old school somebody who can post somebody up and go get it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Might
Right.
need that for the offense. I think that's maybe what they wanted in Josh Gordon, and he never really panned out for that shit.
Right.
So you know, so maybe that maybe help Patty out. Maybe retool the offense line a little bit more, keep tweaking it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't perfect,
Hmm.
but I think most of that shit, not blaming the defense, but you know what I'm saying, always can fix. That's the thing that's always kind of the weak spot with the Chiefs is the defense. Maybe get some faster, younger linebackers in, get Anthony Hitchens the fuck out of there. Daniel Sorensen, get him the fuck out of there.
Yes. Definitely
You know
get
what I'm
Sorensen
saying?
out of there.
Get an edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? I think we might lose Frank Clark. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? Get an
yeah.
edge rusher, yeah. You know what I'm saying? We might lose Melvin Gordon. I don't know if we can convince him to come back, so you gotta get some edge rushers. And just keep retooling the secondary too. You keep turning the rocks, get corners, draft corners and safeties and shit like that. I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep the honey badger either. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least you know it's been like a model of consistency. Maybe not with the Super Bowl, but at least the championship conference game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's better than your winning pedigree, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got the culture, you got the routine, a lot of good habits. Just like you said earlier, got to tweak some of the other habits. At least you can tweak and go, and you ain't got to completely rebuild. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But we still got a young quarterback. We got a quarterback. A lot of teams don't have a quarterback. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right, right. Got the quarterback, got the good coach. Just like you said earlier, they got to stop that arrogant, cocky stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I was like I'm not even gonna say the GM. If I was like the owner, maybe the GM too, definitely will pull that coaching staff in. Like, all right, enough is enough. Going forward, take the points.
Right. Right.
Stop all that cute shit. All these trick plays on these like a swing pass with time running out in the half. You know, like stop all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Like this shit ain't hard, especially when you know like you better than the other team. Line up and like just be better. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That'd be my whole point. Like with certain teams and shit, like do what you're good at. Force them to stop what you're great at. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the AFC side of things, and then we had a good game on the NFC side of things as well. Neither one of these was pretty much like high scoring like I thought it would be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, San Francisco is in LA, Hollywood, to take on the star-studded Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium. This is a spectacle every time that they play. And this looks like, 49ers had beaten the Rams 6 straight times, and it looked like they were well on their way to doing this again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Seems like they just had the Rams number. The Rams couldn't get anything pretty much going. 49ers, while they weren't scoring touchdowns every single time down, they were, putting points on the board, jumped out to a 17-7 lead. Um, and then, the second half happened. And I guess that's why they got two halves.
Yeah.
The game ended after the first one. 49ers would have been good to go. Chiefs would have been good to go. But Rams made adjustments. Cooper Cup got going, Odell Beckham, um, Jimmy G turned back into Jimmy G. Couple of crucial plays. Now I don't like how people was blaming the L on this the cuz that dropped that wide open interception.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You can't that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't blame him, but that would have been a huge play if he could have made it. But you can't blame him though.
Yeah, like granted they did end up scoring on that drive, which normally
Yeah, that's why it would have been huge.
right,
But you
and
can't blame him.
yeah, normally flip flops. If somebody drops a wide open interception, a touchdown is normally scored. Somebody drops a wide open touchdown, then they normally turn the ball over at it. You know what I'm
Yeah, that's how people are though. I hate that shit, bro. That's why I be trying to tell people is like, bro, like they only just look at certain moments and shit. Like what about all the other shit that happened in the game? You want to blame this one
saying?
play and shit?
Yeah, because it could have the Rams didn't blame. Cooper Cup dropped a wide open pass that he probably could have took to the house, and then
No name nigga drop
yeah,
one too,
I
right in the
was
end zone and shit.
right in the end zone, ball in hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, but yeah. So 49ers offense completely stalled. Rams ended up putting up enough points to get this victory and punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. How did you feel about this NFC West championship showdown?
oh man, this was an alright game, man. And I always kind of like watch these type of quarterbacks closely because people hype them up.
Hmm.
So I'm just like, it's like I kind of knew it. You know what I'm saying? No, not to take nothing away from like which one's gonna fuck up less and shit like that. That's what I was thinking going into the game and shit. But it was a decent game. They both came out there. Matthew Stafford throwing some good stuff, and same
Hmm.
thing with Jimmy or whatever. But
Hmm.
it was a defensive battle, man. Like
Facts.
so, yeah, man.
Eh,
I was surprised. I'm like surprised at how like San Francisco was able to contain Aaron Donald in that defensive line like that. They didn't make too much of a big difference. Like I thought they would just straight dominate them and shit like that. But
Right.
that's how rivalry games be. Shit, that shit it should be crazy like that and shit. But man, it was a good game though, man.
Yeah. I know they were rotating the guys a lot on the offensive line. Like, shout out Trent Williams because he's like an excellent tackle and whatnot. Yeah, like you said, you play a team enough times, man. You can kind of okay. We know Aaron Donald like to do this.
Hmm.
Let's put our big strong guys in. He, double them. If he could bench press 700 pounds, then he'll get to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But yeah, way to hang in there. Um, of course, still had do it all Debo doing his thing. You know what
my
I mean?
boy.
Yeah, super, super, super emotional after the game. Burst into tears. I know that's a heartbreaking moment. You so close, yet so far away. I want your opinion on this too. And did you see the Jimmy G interview?
Nah, I didn't. I had to go to work and stuff like that. Nah, I ain't hear nothing about it. What happened?
So, you know, obviously they was asking Kyle Shanahan, about the quarterback position going forward, and whose job is and this and that. And Kyle Shanahan give you the little politically correct answer. Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback at this moment. Season just ended. We don't. That's all we know. And then they asked Jimmy G the same thing in the press conference, and Jimmy G's keeping it completely transparent and real. He says, "Man, I love playing here. I love you guys. I see you when I see you. All I'm asking is that they send me to a team that wants to win. I'm all about winning."
Mm.
So he knows the writings on the wall. He's expecting to be traded. How you feel about Jimmy G going elsewhere? Now, a lot of people in the last couple of days been saying Pittsburgh, but how do you feel?
I mean, I don't really know how to feel. I mean, it's like you said. I kind of think it's time for San Francisco to do it.
Oh
If
yeah.
he hasn't played the best, but like how we was talking, like you got windows in sports. You know what I'm saying? And they
Mm-hmm.
have a pretty good team and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to squander that team with Jimmy G. Not saying he's a bad. Maybe he might be better somewhere else, but he just hasn't been the fit or the piece to get them over the hump,
All right. Gets them
so
gets
to
them
say.
gets them to the hump.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like it'd be crazy. I don't know what team he can go to because that's a team with a defense and a running game. And you know what I'm saying? That's like the key components for a quarterback who isn't the best thrower. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or best decision maker and stuff like
A
that.
game manager.
If you will, your game manager, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Well, that could potentially Pittsburgh could be a potential another place that has a pretty good defense, and also so they can get an offensive line to go with Najee Harris. You'll have your running game there,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a slew of receivers. You know what I'm saying? Maybe probably better receiving core than you had as a whole in San Francisco.
Right.
So that'll be a good landing spot for him and shit.
Yeah. And I mean, assuming that they want him, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like they
And
could.
like you say, with the whole salaries thing, I know he makes like a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
And
of
I know they
course.
got some people over there like the TJ Watts, the Fitzpatricks, and so on and so forth.
Right. And Big Ben retiring really doesn't help because he took a massive, huge pay cut. I think
Yeah.
a couple of seasons or two ago. So it ain't like he was making like
A lot of
uh
money coming off the books and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. So he basically this last year was playing minimum wage basically. You know what I mean? So that brings us to the Super Bowl matchup. Of course, we have this bye week and Pro Bowl, all that type of the Pro Bowl lost so much luster, bro. Like
Yeah.
when we were younger, the Pro Bowl was like
It was a
super.
thing,
Yeah.
bro.
Like it was like yeah, like dang, like what man? It's just like okay. If I can't find nothing else on TV on Sunday, cool.
Right.
But that will bring us to the Super Bowl, which will be held at SoFi Stadium, and ironically, the Rams are listed as the away team here, even though they're clearly playing at home.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So,
Like, what's the purpose of that?
I guess according to league rules, it alternates seasonal between AFC and NFC who gets to
Okay.
be the home and away team.
Okay.
So last year, the NFC team was the home team. Well, even though Tampa Bay really was at home technically, you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, they're listed as the away team, which means the Bengals will have the right to choose jerseys, which probably explains why they wearing those. They're gonna be wearing the black and orange blends in the Super Bowl. Um, yes, and very interesting. So we got about a week and a half. Well, about a week now, week and a couple days, and let's go ahead and get the predictions out the way, man. Who you going with? Rams, Bengals? Are you
Damn.
going with the?
This is tough.
It's so much. You got to think that they're gonna have these West Coast performances. The ring announcer, not the ring announcer, the field announcer, technically Michael Buffer. So many superstars. You got the Jalen Ramseys, the Aaron Donalds. Von Miller. You got the well, not a superstar, but a star. Matt Stafford. You know what I'm saying? You got OBJ, Cooper Cup, all this firepower. LA. Then on the other side, you got Joe Burrow, rookie sensation. Got Jamar Chase. Um, you got T. Higgins, another young gun. These guys are 21 and 22, making their debuts in the Super Bowl. You got I can't even name nobody on defense, and the only person I can name, he not even good on defense. I just know him, Eli Apple. You
Yeah,
know.
Mike. I think like Mike Hilton or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, Hilton. Yeah, Hilton. He been coming up huge in the playoffs. Yeah.
And they got a good safety, Bates too. I think James Bates or some shit like that. Josh
Oh.
nice. Number
Oh.
30.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. Like you said, ain't too many people. Oh
Oh, Joe
nah, look,
and
look,
Joe
come on, come on,
Joe
come on, come on,
Mixon.
come on, come on, come on, come on. Trey Hendricks,
Okay.
their star defense end. He's been causing havoc
Oh
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Like 40 something or something, right?
yeah, some shit like that. Yeah,
Yeah. Got you. Yeah. And we can throw Joe Mixon in there, man. Joe
yeah,
Mixon,
yeah. Joe
yeah, he
Mixon, man. I
deserves
like Joe
it.
Mixon, man.
Yeah. And a pleasant surprise in the playoffs. Former Washington, well, football team, or we'll get into the new name in a little bit. P Ryan.
Yeah, talking to the screen, bitch ass motherfucker. Yeah, it's smart. Yeah.
It's another
I
another
hate that name too, yo. Like back in the day, and shit used to be on the fucking internet and shit.
Mhm.
Like I never heard it before.
Okay.
This fucking just James backwards and shit.
Some odds.
Yeah,
That's all right, man. Like, we would name him James, but let's spin it. Let's spin the bit, man. Some odds. But another ex Washington player who seems to have found his niche finds himself in the Super Bowl. So what's good, man? Give me something, man. I know you're going to LA, man.
I want the Bengals to win so bad, man. But just like you said, I don't know. It's tough to like land and just put my full faith in the youngins. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Fuck it. Yeah, man. I want the Bengals to win. I want the Bengals to win. I hope they can win.
Yeah.
Like it's like good because like not too many fans of both teams. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to
Mm-hmm.
deal with the annoyance and shit. I know my homie Iron Words is a Bengals fan, and also like a guy I used to work with named Ryan. He's a Bengals fan.
Right.
And on the other side, the guy I used to work with is a Rams fan. I think he'd probably be the most annoying
Yeah.
if the Rams was to win.
Yeah. I know about 5 or 6 Rams fans. But they've been cool. Like I've known them since we was in school too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been pretty cool. It seems like only the Cowboy fans and like the Redskin fans really the ones that just be
Yeah,
you know
it's like they always think each one's like worse. They both like the same level of annoyance, bro.
right. Um. So yeah, they really the only ones that be out of control. I don't know any. I don't know any Bengals fans. You know what I'm saying? Um. You already know I'm going Bengals, man. I try to tell niggas, I ain't saying it's gonna happen, but man, and Joe, I trust, man. He just gotta.
Yeah, I hope they win, man. I swear I hope they win. Like you know what I'm saying? Me not even being biased
hmm
because they beat us and all that. You know what I'm saying? I can't even hate on them. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, see this how I say I say I really kind of dislike play certain players. And I don't even know why. I think it's like just the fans made me kind of hate Jalen Ramsey. Like I don't really fuck
Oh
with
yeah.
Jalen for some reason. I
Okay.
think it's the fans, the whole when I was a Cowboys fan, the whole Ezekiel Elliott shit. I
Oh
think that kind of
yeah.
made me have a disdain for him, and I don't know. I wouldn't want that. I don't. If I could hate, you know what I'm saying? Hope that nigga don't get a ring.
Yeah. And like for me, like to say to go off what you saying, like the unbiased thing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Matt Stafford getting the ring either, though. You know what I mean? Like he
Okay.
does. He done wasted a lot of his career in Detroit. You know, and hopefully. if Joe Burrow can't do this, but I'm like I really be confident in Joe Burrow though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but if he can't do it, then
I
Matt
hope they
Staff.
do it, man.
Yeah, I'm fully with him. I fully believe in this. Like, it's like watching that LSU season, bro. Like, you just knew. Like, it's just something you could just tell. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now he done got like it's funny because I seen like when they beat y'all or whatever. You know how you be seeing like the memes and stuff on Twitter, and it was like a little. It wasn't a meme, but it was like a little side by side picture, and I didn't even know like they got one of his top offensive linemen from LSU too.
Oh, I ain't know that.
Yeah, because they had a side by side picture, and it was like this was such and such holding up Joe Burrow after the national championship win, and this is such and such holding Joe Burrow up after they defeated the Chiefs on Sunday. I'm like, nah, I didn't know he played for these niggas.
So everybody had the little LSU pipeline over there.
Yeah, and that's really what you want your quarterback to be like super comfortable. That's what you gotta do for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to build.
Yeah, like he in his rarest form, he's playing with these guys. So, because I think they got Wichicom on the practice squad, if I'm not mistaken, Thaddeus Moss,
Oh, okay.
Randy Moss, son. But yeah, last little tidbit on it. If Joe Burrow do wins, he'll join an elite company because only two quarterbacks in league history have ever won the Heisman Trophy and a Super Bowl trophy, and that would be Joe Namath and Joe Montana. Ironically, two Joes. He's trying to become the third. So we haven't seen Joe Namath play in 40 years. We haven't seen Joe Montana play since like what, late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that record has stood for it's been about almost 30 years, you know what I'm saying? And Joe Burrow has a chance to break it in a span of 3 years. Like he just was in the national championship game 2 years ago. Yeah, I hope the Bengals win too, man. I'm going, man. I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, I think it's some crazy fact around that shit. I think I heard like he might be the first or one of the few to win a Heisman national title and a motherfucking Super
Yeah,
Bowl and shit.
yeah. Nobody's never did all three. Yeah, nobody's
Yeah.
never done that.
And
So,
he might get up the ante if he win and get Super Bowl MVP and shit. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah, make sure nobody never do it.
Yeah, a tough road, my boy. If you want to catch that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like you know he he got his whole career to like do this as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to maybe do it in a 3 year span,
Will be crazy.
he did that, took a season into injury last season, and his first season back, like quarterbacks normally don't even like you can see like some hesitant in them. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
coming off a torn ACL and MCL, like they'd be timid. Cause I
Right.
remember watching him in preseason, he had the stone. Remember I said he had stone cold knee brace on.
Yeah.
And then like the last preseason game before the regular season, he stopped wearing it. Like he felt that was holding him back and all that. And yeah, I hope Joe Burrow do this, man. Niggas ain't gonna like me that day. Rams fans ain't gonna like me that day. So moving on, I know everybody one of the worst kept secrets in the NFL. Before we get to the bombshell, Washington football team has a new name, and it's the Commanders. This was officially named yesterday, even though people started finding out days beforehand. What they had a drone or something, a helicopter, who was it that peeked into the stadium and seen the commander stuff and all that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm about to say yeah. Send the picture sitting on the lap of whatever
Yeah,
cuz is for
yeah,
the commanders.
yeah. So They also unveiled the new uniforms, which I like. I like.
Yeah, I like the uniforms.
Yeah, they're not
The
bad
matte
enough.
finish on the helmets, kind of similar to what Minnesota does. Like the white
Mm-hmm.
jerseys got the faded numbers, and they got the black unis. Like I think like
Mm-hmm.
every team, like I thought it was about to happen. I don't know if you remember, like back in the day. I think what I was like maybe in high school or middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Like they started like making like black jerseys for every team and shit. And I remember I had a black Cowboys jump.
Right.
Like every team should have a black jersey variant and shit.
Right. And it's funny you say that because I tweeted out yesterday when I seen the unis, I was like, yo, I said every time a team get new unis and they throw in black, I said I'm falling more and more in love with black jerseys. Like like it's to the point where I just want like all black jerseys.
Yeah. The only thing I would say that Jones is a little bit too close to Pittsburgh. That's my only gripe.
Right.
But it is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying?
So how
They
you
got a
feel
different
about
number style and shit
how
in
you
that jump, huh?
how you feel about people saying that the white ones is kind of like close to like Arizona or something?
Yeah, it's kind of giving me Arizona like and somebody else. But I don't know. I like them Jones though. I like them Jones though. That
Yeah,
faded number to them Jones, yeah, that shit look y'all sweet.
yeah, I can get on board with them. So how you feel about the name though, Commander?
It's it's blah when you think about it. But somebody else had shout out to matter of fact, shout out to Johnny's brother, Nick. Johnny Tsunami's brother Nick. He mentioned how like people wasn't really in love with the name switch from the Bullets to the Wizards. And you
Right,
know how that kind of grew on people, you know what I'm saying?
right.
So I don't know, who will see. Commanders may grow on people.
Yeah, right. Um, I definitely was one of those people. The Wizards,
Right, yeah.
they think it's gonna be trash. I
And you
mean,
also mentioned too, like off air and shit, like how like you know, so we just talking about overall just other team names, like for kind of like they don't really sound that great when you think about it.
yeah, half the teams in the league have a trash name. You know, being technical.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the NFL was if they was to like embark on like a college journey or something and start taking some of them names because college be having some fire names, you know. But yeah, like you said, it'll grow on people, especially if they can win.
Right.
That trumps everything. You
Yeah.
know
Time come, black people will make some creative shit. You know what I'm saying? As the first round, throw that shit out.
what I'm
Like I don't know if you done seen like the little video and they try to do the I don't even know what jingle it is. Dum 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 some commander. I'm like, oh, nah, throw that shit away. That shit
saying?
was
Yeah,
ass.
I didn't hear that. I'd have been laughing.
That shit was ass. Throw that shit away. It was like some
Yeah,
random ass people just standing outside. I don't know if they was standing outside RF. That's an RFK. God damn. FedEx or some shit. You know what I'm
FedEx.
saying?
Yeah,
And I don't know. That shit was just ass.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see what people come up with. And after the name was unveiled, several of team reps hopped into team, colored cars and rode around the entire DMV. So they say, but we know they didn't do that for real. And passed out merch. They probably rode to Virginia or something.
Right.
Maybe around DC too, but we know niggas ain't come to the hood or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And was passing out free merch or whatever. So get the ball rolling. They're also rumored. I mean, of course, it's just rumors, and of course, it's easier to try to do something than to actually do it. Well, there's rumors that they're also going to try to make a big splash at quarterback this offseason.
I was gonna bring that up too when we were talking about said person.
Okay.
Jimmy G. You know, there's been rumor. Well, it's been rumors brewing.
Another big splash though. That's like a little puddle. I don't know. That's
Depends, though. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
a. uh,
It wouldn't be a splash to me. It wouldn't be a move I would make if I was
hell no.
Washington.
You might as well. I mean, Jimmy G reminds me of like Alex Smith. I mean, he turns the ball over a little bit more than Alex. Alex is like super safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're not gonna win with that. I
Right.
mean, at the end, you're not gonna win with it. Might get a good record. Might get you to the playoffs. But
But when you need those plays to get to those games,
he gonna keep checking down.
right.
And Demi G is kind of like, I feel like he's just like, to make Washington good, they need like a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would need like a Herbert or Joe Burrow, or like a gunslinger type dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't really think they're gonna do good with the game, man. But I'll take it. You know, make it a little bit easier for my man Hurts in the next few years. You know what I'm
Did you hear anybody besides like Big Splash? Any rumors?
saying? Nah. Because the thing is, with obviously Tom Brady retiring, Aaron Rodgers, pending trade, maybe Deshaun Watson. I'm guessing that's the big splash, but he has a full no trade clause, I think, so he would have to agree to go to said team.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he ain't doing that. You know what I mean? Like I would ask you, like, I don't really feel like there's a big splash quarterback, and all the big splash quarterbacks are either like super young and not going nowhere. Lamar Jackson, Patty Mahomes, um, Herbert. Like what would be a big splash? Derek Carr?
That's why I was. If Garoppolo isn't a big splash, Carr can't be a big splash. That's why I was like, I don't know. Like, what's your definition of big splash? You know, so like you said,
Yeah.
outside of them names, I think only one person we didn't name who maybe's been jousted around as far as trading is what Russell. But I don't think he wants to come here.
Yeah, nah.
So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, uh, Russell. He also has a no trade, a full no trade clause as well.
Did Cleveland commit to Baker already? I think they did.
Not yet. I don't think. Oh, I think they did. Like, I don't know. That's
I
a
mean, they
good.
haven't like on paper, but you know what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
that they verbally say, "Yeah, this is gonna be our
Oh
guy
nah.
going into the season." Some
Nah.
shit. Okay,
Yeah. I mean, that would be a big splash technically.
right. That'd
Pu-
be probably the
pu-
biggest of the.
Publicity's side.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield in DC. Yeah, it'll be Dak versus Jalen for the NFC East the next 5 6 years. Next 5 6 years. Um, because they Washington just can't seem to get it right at that position. The Giants, who we're about to get into in a little bit, just I guess they're recommitting to Daniel Jones. They had made a statement a week or so ago saying that they haven't given this kid nowhere near the help he needs to succeed. So they're going to try to make him work. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Eh, but I guess we can get to this bombshell now, which has been dominating the sports world since it dropped the day before yesterday. Today's Thursday, so that was Tuesday. Um, Brian Flores, who was fired by the Miami Dolphins after this season, who had a 24 wins and 25 losses record, filed a lawsuit against the NFL, the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Broncos. Now they still haven't dropped any details about the Broncos, but I'm just assuming that it just ties into these other two. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, there's two different branches for the Dolphins now. He's alleging that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered him incentives to lose and get the best possible draft pick, as much as 100,000 every loss. He also says that the New York Giants, which he proved with the text between him and Bill Belichick, gave him a dummy interview, and they already had decided on their coach before he even had the interview. He's been making his media rounds. He's been doing interviews on ESPN. He did one on CBS yesterday morning. I watched it on YouTube. I wasn't going to watch these interviews. I just was going to kind of freestyle how we normally do. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Nate Burleson fan, so he conducted this interview. So I watched it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um, and basically he was saying that he understands that he probably will never coach in the league again, and once he hits a certain like situation, that's normally the case for black coaches anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why he said he's more at peace and free to go on with this lawsuit because things need to change, and he felt he was at a fork in the road, and he says, you know, it's hard enough to maintain a head coaching job as a minority in the league anyway. And it's my first season coaching, and you're basically trying to pay me to lose, knowing that if I do bad with you, nobody else is going to want to really give me a second chance. And he's spot on because we talk about it all the time. Black head coaches, you got 2 years to make a significant jump, or you're out the window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
In some cases, even if you make a significant jump, like it ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? You're a placeholder and shit. Like, was Caldwell did good for the Lions and shit. Got her from losing season. You know what I'm saying? Way up to like maybe a few playoff appearances and winning seasons, and still got the axe.
yep. And brought in the next head coach, and then right back to 3-13,
Right.
4-12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just frustrated with this whole process. Now, also they're saying that, remember we was talking about how the Giants gave him the interview was 3.5, 4 hours.
Right.
He says that it was that long because the Giants caught wind of what happened between him and Bill Belichick. So they went to the extreme ins and outs and made it seem like they were really like, interviewing him fully when whole time they pretty much already decided on who they wanted.
Right.
So his exchange him and Bill Belichick was that Bill Belichick had texted him congratulating them on getting the Giants job. And he had responded. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. Basically saying he hadn't interviewed for it yet, but he hope he gets it. And Bill comes back saying, I hear you're their guy. I'm hearing from the Bills and the Giants that you're their guy. So congratulations. Make it work. And he basically is responding like, yeah, I hope so, coach. This and that. And he asks, "Oh, are you talking about me, Brian Flores, or you talking about Brian the Ball?" And then Bill's like, "Oh, I fucked this up. I'm talking about the ball. My bad." And boom, everybody's caught. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So we talk about this a lot. How do you feel about all these situations, bro?
I'm just sad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really shocked. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. 'Cause you knew something was going on. Something was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because how little coaches and owners and you know what I'm saying, just black figureheads it is at the top. So you already knew the shit was going on, but just to hear the shit is like a slight shock. It's like, damn, this sucks. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it sucks that Brian is going to be, you know what I'm saying, sacrificial lamb. Like you said, he's probably never going to coach again in the NFL. Like how Cap, you know what I'm saying, was never able to play in the NFL again when he, you know what I'm saying, trying to fight the machine and shit. But
Right, right.
you know what I'm saying, like you sit back and you just think, well, when you were just talking about this, I'm just thinking like, damn, like how you always think like realize like we're actually about to maybe possibly witness history. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day when you um hear about people like Jackie Robinson and all that fighting to get colors and
Mm-hmm.
to the MLB and all that shit, like we're about to maybe witness something like this. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Maybe a
right.
resurgence of black coaches and owners and so on and so forth and shit. So definitely happy for him. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, this sparks more people to keep fighting so we can get equal opportunity to get coaching and hold coaching positions and get ownership and shit like that.
Right. And that's definitely got to focus on the ownership because it's like there are 31 owners in the league and they're all white billionaires essentially. I mean, Jacksonville guys Muslim, so yeah. Green Bay, for anybody that wondering why it's not all 32, is ran by the city and not a sole owner. You know, special situation up there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So definitely got to work on that ownership, like you said. More black GMs, more black head coaches, more black coaching staffs in general.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get like how we'll hear about a coach and he be like, "Oh, he's from the Bill Parcells branch tree." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, get some of these black coaches in here.
And they
Like,
can have their disciples.
yeah, they're tree. You know what I mean? So it's just like you said, on the brink of witnessing history, and we've been doing that these last couple of years, pretty much since the pandemic started. um, Now this is gonna be a fight, and hopefully he could go through. I don't know. I don't know if he has the money to go through with this because you're up against 31 billionaires. You know what I mean?
Right.
And hopefully he also doesn't settle. I mean, you might have to because you. I guess with the lawsuit, you pretty much know you probably can't win the lawsuit per se, but you just want to bring awareness.
Right.
And if they settle
Shake
out,
some shit.
yeah, and if they settle out of court, that's pretty much them admitting that they're wrong, but they're paying you to not go fully through with this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what the whole cap situation was. Um, yeah, you ever been on an interview before and you felt like you know they probably already hired the person that they were going to hire? They're just interviewing you for the hell of it and shit.
I was gonna say no, but then again, I would say probably so.
Mm-hmm.
Like early on in my Best Buy career, trying to move up, because like I wasn't always like how like man fuck that leadership shit. I was actually trying to move up. You know what I'm saying? And I was running the media department. I led my team to Achievers, which is like the best department in the company. You know what I'm saying? One of
Mm-hmm.
the best departments in the company. So we wanted a trip to Orlando. So, you know what I'm saying? Listening to people, so you always want to try to make more money and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on the interview and I had the numbers and everything. I think I did pretty well in the interview. And they end up giving it to somebody else who was like a better salesman. That's what like Best Buy does. Like they values like salesmen. Even
Oh.
if that wasn't his department. The person who got it was a top salesman in cameras.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, I was running the media department. I was, what I'm saying, selling. As far as like, we was like one of the only departments who put out our own product, so I knew that system. I can train people. I was doing interviews. My like I said, my supervisor who for the department, he was trying to get promoted. So Best Buy, you kind of assume the position. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
So my supervisor was trying to be an AM, so he was assuming an assistant manager role, while I was assuming his role. You know what I'm saying? So I'm that good enough to run a department in his absence and take it to places that he hasn't gotten to, and
Right.
I couldn't get the position. You know what I'm saying? So the person was like a white person, a little bit older, and a good salesman and shit. So that probably was like the closest thing to me not getting a position. You know what I'm saying? Going on an interview and they already had their person.
Right. Yeah, I can't pinpoint like a specific interview, but I'm quite sure it's happened to all of us multiple times.
Right.
You
That's what I
know,
was thinking too before too until that hit my head and shit.
right? And you know, when it comes down to like, especially like how it was your kind of setup where you're trying to interview up. You know what I mean? So you
Mm-hmm.
already working there. You just trying to move up in the ranks.
Right.
Like, yeah, that definitely. like it's more favorable to, like you said, they preference of a person or position. They got the favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers' pets, what they call them, and all that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now it's pretty. I ain't gonna say it's pretty much no hope for us, but it's pretty. It's gonna be a daunting task, like trying to change the everyday life type of ordeal. But hopefully, with the NFL, they can get some type of change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they gonna have to. I think I was just thinking this probably put a little bit of pressure on them, like you said, how they like how the Giants tried to cover their ass and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that black person that's trying to buy Denver, I think they probably gonna let him do that. They're trying to see like they're trying to make change, and you know what I'm saying, they're not as bad as they may seem.
Right. And just to save face a little bit, but it's kind of crazy. And we was looking up like teams that had never had black coaches before,
Mm-hmm.
and the New York Giants made the list, who's a part of this lawsuit and this whole debacle. And I don't know, just kind of got like a undertone racist history. I'm guessing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they might. I know that's one of the biggest markets in the whole entire league, but they might have to come up off of that. But do you feel like the Dolphins owner should be stripped of his ownership?
I don't know. I mean,
Because
I
this
don't
is
know.
because basically he's paying to try to, like, like with the NFL, all this sports betting going on, and he's basically paying to like lose games and shit, like tank.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but I'm just so numb to it because like even though like no one's came out and said the shit, like niggas knew what the fuck niggas was doing and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But I
right,
mean, I
right.
wouldn't be mad at it though
Yeah. I kind of feel like it's always. I kind of feel like, one thing about life is it's always how you be at work or you was in school or something and you was like doing something you ain't really had no business doing, but you had like that cool teacher or something that was just like, all right, go ahead, but if you get caught, it's on you. You know,
Yeah,
like I kind of feel like that's what it is in the NFL. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell me about it, but if anybody find out, we gonna have to, yeah.
yeah. It's crazy though. I didn't know niggas was getting paid extra incentives to do it. I thought they were just told, hey, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
I mean, cause everybody, you bring like a nigga on this, and then everybody don't be with the foolery. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah,
So that's and 100,000, like we talk about six digits. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
per loss and shit.
Like I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to win owner, but I give you three L's. You know what
Yeah, it's a
I'm
tough spot and shit. You know what I'm saying?
saying?
Because like you want the money.
Right.
But then you gotta think like how Flores said, like, dang, that's my first shot.
You black. Yeah,
I'm
like,
black. Already got
yeah.
this against me. Like, that's
Right.
like how be my thinking about like taking certain jobs.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you can take a nice job, you know what I'm saying, and make you like X amount of money. It's a big increase. But how long are you gonna have that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Versus like doing what you're doing now. It's consistent money at a less rate, but it's consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's that gamble. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough situation to be in.
Right. 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 Yeah, it's super tough to be in. And obviously he, because the Dolphins, he did have winning records these last two seasons, so obviously he wasn't going for it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like I guess it would come down, and I know people going to do the whole morals thing versus no morals thing, but I look at it as a different way. Like when we was talking about the baseball Hall of Fame, the other podcast with Roger Clemens, and him saying that he didn't play baseball to make the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like he just was playing to win championships, be the best he could be for his team, and give his family financial wealth or whatever. So if you like that, then yeah, but it's a complete setup though. Because it's like the owner can just come out and fire you, and then in the public's eyes, like, oh, you was losing all them games, you deserve to be fired. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the whole time he orchestrating you to be fired, you following a script basically, and then you don't even get, the said opportunity. And even though he still had two more interviews lined up, he probably felt like he wasn't gonna get them either. I think he's supposed to interview with the Broncos. I think, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
I want to say they. I think he might have had. I don't know if it was another one, but like they kind of said the same thing and shit. They kind of came out and said, everybody defended themselves and they said they had a 3.5 hour long interview with full of notes and shit like that. So it was a real interview. That's what they was trying to say. I don't know if it was
yeah,
the
it's the
second one
same.
with him.
That's the same thing that John said.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm saying. Everybody
yeah,
trying to fake Kodak tracks and shit.
yeah, okay. I got a lot of notes though. Like that's supposed to, that's supposed to matter some shit. Like, so I kind of feel like it got to be like something, or maybe like, yeah, because the Rooney Rule that's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't saying you got to get your head coach pick for you, but if somebody got certain qualifications over somebody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they. I don't even know if you can do that shit, but that's what they need to do. Is like a X amount of time. You gotta have a candidate of color. You gotta hire one and give them X amount of time. But I don't. You can't probably can't do that shit.
Right, all right, but it's interesting to see like what'll happen from here.
Yeah, that was like the first step to like the quote unquote shut people up and shit. The Rooney Rule.
Yeah, and shout out to Pittsburgh because that's the rule named after them. Basically, they own us because they were doing that before it was even a rule. You know what I mean?
Right.
So shout out to them. Yeah, we're gonna interview. I mean, albeit one is the real rule, but I don't know how many they was doing. But yeah, we're gonna bring in the minority, see what they talking about. Technically, I think they got the only black coach in the league, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because Leftwich ain't official.
Right. Yeah. So Mike Tomlin, who's a Hall of Fame coach, he's been coaching for 15 years. He's clearly the anomaly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Pittsburgh, they're so structured anyway. Because I can't even remember like a bunch of head coaches. Like they had their coaches for like 30 and 40 years at a time, or 20 and
Right.
30. Chuck Noll, and then Bill Cowher, and then Bill Cowher, the Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we don't went from 2022 all the way back to Terry Bradshaw and them, just that with three coaches. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, well, it's interesting, like you said, seeing history potentially could be altered and made here. Might see something that might be in textbooks one day or whatever niggas gonna be studying on in the future.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so
crazy. I was just thinking, though, it's like you see how well I know they probably hated having black people like dominate the league and shit, right?
mm-hmm,
Players. But you see how well we are. Like I know like niggas just holding on to coaches and quarterbacks. That's like the main thing that like white people kind of like fully dominate and shit.
mm-hmm.
They probably just don't want to let that shit go for shit.
Yeah, because they're thinking like long haul, and the way that, and this is what I be trying to tell like my friends like that be on like need that just need a different perspective. The way that they see us struggling, they know that if they give all these positions up, that's going to be their family down the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're just trying to prevent and protect themselves as long as they possibly can. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I get it. It's just like gotta find some common median. Can we be equal?
Right. You know, so why can't it be like just a good number, half, whatever? You know, so let's let the
Uh,
strongest candidate survive. You
yeah,
know, so we just keep getting these white coaches keep getting job after job after job. Meanwhile, black motherfuckers just can't. You know, so they get one joke. All right, nigga. You know, so back to purgatory for you.
yeah. Bring back the AFL, man. But I got a couple of tidbits, sports topics we could talk about.
All right, let's
Uh,
do it.
Nothing too crazy. I know you seen the Jim Harbaugh John because I just seen it pop up on the screen. He is returning to Michigan. He was rumored to be a top choice for the Minnesota Vikings job, even as when the Squads did two interviews. But I believe the Vikings' top choice. I forgot his name is something Gates. He's an offensive coordinator for somebody. He is the top choice. So with that being said, Jim Harbaugh, who skipped out on signing day for Michigan to go do this interview, and once he was made aware that he wasn't the front runner, decided to come back. Um, Now I tweeted this out when Michigan lost in the college football playoff. I was like, Jim Harbaugh did all that to finally beat Ohio State and had his first taste of a SEC beating. I bet he wants to go back to the league. And it almost came true. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you Ohio State is the bar every year. You think you finally figured it out, and then you got to go up against Georgia, and boom, you done scratched and clawed and barely eked it out against Ohio State, and then you go lose to 30 by Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's coming back. What do you feel about Jim Harbaugh? Smart move. Should he have just interviewed with somebody else? Because there's still other coaching vacancies out there.
And probably ones he might not want. I think it's probably a better move just going back to Michigan. Because who else out there with the Jags? Yeah.
Yeah, the Jags. I don't think it's no. The Dolphins is not a bad team. It depends on how you feel about Tua.
Yeah, like I said, I'm cool with the Dolphins, but like I don't know if that a desirable spot outside of it being in Miami, Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I don't know if anybody would want to go coach there. Like I don't know. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I'll
Mm.
take it. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Long as I no Cleveland, no Jacksonville Jaguars type shit, I take it. You know what I'm
Yeah, and I'm like, the Dolphins they have a solid team.
saying? Yeah.
It just it's and that was also a thing about Brian Flores that was had him bumping up against the owner. Him and the owner bumping heads was that he was literally trying to beg the owner to pull the trigger on the Deshaun Watson trade. He had it to where Deshaun would agree to the trade. It just would have cost him Tua, and the owner didn't want to get rid of Tua. You know what I mean? So
That's crazy.
yeah. So I really just owner clearly doesn't want to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, like I tweeted out my little joke about it. I was like, yo, I'd have took 100,000 here and there, but once we'd have drafted Tua, I'd have snitched on everybody. Like, this shit would have happened a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas like, cause just think like, and you was one of the ones that was schooling me on like the Dolphins roster and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And it's a good roster, and they barely like missed the playoffs with Tua. Just imagine if they'd have took Herbert instead.
Right. Right. Like they could have been prime ready to what I'm saying battle with
The-
Buffalo Bills for that division if
right,
they'd have kept their superstars over the years, like losing people like your Fitzpatrick and shit like that, Jarvis
Jarvis
Landry.
Landry.
Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like if they would have took Herbert over Tua, none of this would probably even be happening right now.
Right.
Because Flores wouldn't have been getting by. Because like they probably would have had a better record. They probably would at least made the playoffs. You know what I mean?
hmm
And yeah, I hate to come off as such like a Tua hater, but yeah, I really don't be feeling Tua because niggas was trying to say he was better than
So,
Burrow.
like, that's your one person. Like, that's at least one of the people you like. Not you hate the guy personally, but like,
I was
what in
down
the realm of the sports world, like, yeah, I ain't fucking with Tua. Like,
because I was down on Tua when he was in college. I mean, he kind of always been in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just made me build up like a little disdain for him. Like
Yeah.
I was a huge, I still am, but I mean, I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan,
Right.
and he took Jalen Hurts' job just for him to do like nothing. I mean, they won a championship together, but Jalen Hurts was just as big a part of that as Tua. And then after Jalen Hurts transferred, Tua kind of fell off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While Jalen Hurts was like Heisman runner up at Oklahoma. Like he throwing 50 something touchdowns. Like if it wasn't from a unearthly performance from Joe Burrow, like he would have won the Heisman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then yeah, going against Joe Burrow and shit. So he kind of was just always at the wrong place at the wrong time. And then I don't know if you remember, but when it was like draft time, niggas was swearing he was better than Burrow and Herbert and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of was just like, yeah, we'll see about that. Y'all can have Tua. I ain't a big fan of his. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm telling nigga, oh, the Bengals should have took Tua number one, or uh Killer was saying the skins would have been good with him, and he was the left-handed Russell Wilson and all that. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
I'm like, go ahead, bro. But yeah, just I don't know. I kind of feel like he's just Jim Harbaugh's in a lose-lose situation. You go back to Michigan, it ain't like beating Ohio State is a given. It took you 6 years to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you interviewing the same day that these commitments is signing the schools. Like somebody probably done chose somebody else because they thinking you leaving or something. You
Right.
know, you know.
Cost your organization, your
Yeah,
university.
yeah. So I don't know, but it is what it is. Also, I want to cross over to the NBA right quick before we jump out of the sports topics. And I just want to touch on the Brooklyn Nets. And we rag on Kyrie, and then we get Kyrie ultimate props. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those moments where, well, I mean, we're not gonna rag on him, but it's a little like, bro, what are you talking about? One of those kind of moments. So Brooklyn Nets lost last night to the Sacramento Kings, right? They're on this West Coast road trip, so Kyrie's playing all these games. And since Kevin Durant got hurt, Brooklyn's 2-7. They also on a 6 game losing streak. They lost 6 in a row. They went from second place in the East. Right now, they're sixth place in the East. Um, when asked by reporters after the game, what's been like the biggest reason for the losses, especially tonight against the Kings, Kyrie answered and said, a lot of teams are playing playoff adjustment defense against us. The Kings were playing playoff adjustment defense against us. So I say that to say this, bro. The last time the Kings made the playoffs, I might have been a kid. And if I was a kid, all of those players on the Kings right now, I know they were kids.
Yeah.
How do they know how to play playoff adjustment basketball?
Right.
Bro, y'all are just come out and say it. We keep it real. You keep it real any other time, bro. Just come out, yo. We need KD. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we need KD. Like this doesn't work without KD. That's what I wanted to hear him say. Like, what do you feel about that, right quick?
They're just acting up, bro. Like you're just wilding out, bro. Like what are you talking about, bro?
I love Kyrie, but that's one of those. Come on, bro.
Like you said, man, we rag on him so much, bro. I'll just keep it short and sweet, bro. Like what?
Come on, bro. I knew we was gonna have a good laugh about that. That's why I wanted to bring it up. I was like,
Much appreciated, bro.
the playoff adjustment though. These niggas ain't never been to the playoffs.
Right.
Like,
Playoff adjustments, though.
like one of the worst records in the league. They damn sure ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, come on, man.
Like, nah, I just need KD, man. That's all.
Right.
But then we could cross over to the hip hop world, the pop culture. Um, well, before we get to that, let's go ahead and get the Jackie Chan thing out the way, because
Oh yeah.
because that doesn't qualify